true believers. It's likely that more than a few readers squirmed in their chairs while reading the preceding paragraph. Most of us today are educated to react in such a way. It is easy to accept that Hammurabi's code was a myth, but we do not want to hear that human rights are also a myth. If people realize that human rights exist only in their imagination, isn't there a danger that our society will collapse? Voltaire said about God that there's no God, but don't tell that to my servant, lest he murder me at night. Hammurabi would have said the same about his principle of hierarchy, and Thomas Jefferson about human rights. Homo sapiens have no natural rights, just as spiders, hyenas, and chimpanzees have no natural rights. But they don't tell that to our servants, lest they murder us at night. Such fears were well justified. A natural order is a stable order. There is no chance. There is no chance that gravity will cease to function tomorrow, even if, even if, even such fears are well justified. A natural order is stable. There is no chance that gravity will cease to function tomorrow, even if people start believing in it. In contrast, an imagined order is always in danger of collapse because it depends upon myths, and myths vanish once people start believing in them. In order to safeguard an imagined order, continuous and strenuous efforts are imperative. Some of these efforts take the shape of violence and coercion. Armies, police forces, courts, and prisons are ceaselessly at work, forcing people to act in accordance with the imagined order. If an ancient Babylonian blighted his neighbor, some violence was usually necessary in order to enforce the law of an eye for an eye. When in 1860, a majority of American citizens conclude that African slaves are human beings and must therefore enjoy the right of liberty, it took a bloody civil war to make the southern states acquiesce. However, an imagined order cannot be sustained by violence alone. It requires some true believers as well. Prince Talleyrand, who began his chameleon-like career under Louis XVI, later served the Revolutionary and Napoleonic regimes and switched loyalties in time to end his day, working for the restored monarchy, summed up decades of governmental experience by saying that you can do many things with bayonets, but it is rather uncomfortable to sit on them. A single priest often does work of hundreds of soldiers far more cheaply and effectively. However, no matter how efficient bayonets are, somebody must wield them. Why should the soldiers, jailers, judges, and police maintain an imagined order in which they do not believe? Of all human collective activities, the one most difficult to organize is violence. To say that a social order is maintained by military force immediately raises the question, what maintains the military order? It is impossible to organize an army solely by coercion. At least some of the commanders and soldiers must believe in something, be it God, honor, motherland, manhood, or human. An even more interesting question concerns those standing at the top of the social pyramid. Why should they wish to enforce an imagined order if they themselves don't believe in it? It is quite common to argue that the elite may do so out of a cynical greed. Yes, a cynic who believes in nothing is unlikely to be greedy. It does not take much to provide the objective biological needs of Homo sapiens. After those needs are met, More money can be spent on building pyramids, taking holidays around the world, financing election campaigns, funding your favorite terrorist organization, investing in the stock market, and making yet more money. All of which are activities that a true cynic would find utterly meaningless. Diogenes, the Greek philosopher who founded the cynical school, lived in a barrel. When Alexander the Great once visited Diogenes, he was relaxing in the sun and asked if there were anything he might do for him. The cynic answered, the all powerful conqueror, yes, there's something you can do for me. Please move a little to the side, you are blocking the sunlight. This is why cynics don't build empires and why an imagined order can be maintained only if large segments of the population, and in particularly large segments of the elite and the security forces, truly believe in it. Christianity would not have lasted 2,000 years if the majority of bishops and priests failed to believe in Christ. American democracy would not have lasted 250 years if the majority of presidents and congressmen failed to believe in human rights. The modern economic system would not have lasted a single day if the majority of investors and bankers failed to believe in capitalism.